What's going on, everyone? So, welcome to this YouTube live. So, obviously, as you can probably see, I have a whiteboard. So, I'm going to use it. Okay. So, I hope you go through this entire live because I'm going to share a lot of content. I'm going to share so much information that I know will help you. Again, this video, it's all about, how can you go from your help desk, your entry level job, to an engineer level position. I know for many people, that's something that I don't think that's possible. How can you go from an entry level job to an engineer level position? Well, let me tell you, many students have done it. And I will tell you exactly how you can do the same. And it only takes about 4 months. And this is not for you to, I know, I just need to get one, maybe two IT certifications. And then I'm gonna go to the market and then I'm gonna get that high paying job. Not true. That's not how it works. Okay. So again, go through this entire video and make sure you take notes. Okay. Now let me go on the live chat and see. And by the way, if you have any questions, I'm gonna make the time to go through some of these questions. Okay. So I see Francisco. Wait, if you have time, that would be great if you can share this video right now because I'm gonna really share everything that I know and how you can upgrade that entry level job, that help desk job to an engineer level position. Okay. I'm going to teach you something that I've been saying before about how to reverse engineer the process for you to get there. Okay. How to reverse engineer the process, because if you do that, you will know exactly what you need to do. You will know exactly what you need to focus on and what you need to pay attention and what not to pay attention at all, right? So here, let's see. Jorge, do you drink coffee? If so, what type of coffee? I do drink coffee, not that much, but I do drink coffee. Clifford, good evening, Jorge. Getting a lot of info here. That's good. You end up getting the blueprint. That's great. I'm tired to be a help desk. Well, we're gonna change that. Okay, we're gonna change that. Now, let me drink just a little bit of coffee. Okay. Okay, let's go through this process. Okay. So again, and this is by the way, okay, I'm gonna focus a lot me thinking that you have an entry level job, okay, that you have a help desk position. So how can you go from that job to an engineer level position? So first, let's think about that and let's reverse engineer the process. Okay. So let's see here. So this is, I'm gonna put it right here, over here. That way it gives us space. Okay. So this is the job that you want. An engineer level position. Okay. An engineer level position. A job that will pay you about 85, probably up to 100K. And that can happen in the next 4 months. And I know you're probably thinking, Jorge, I work in the help desk and I've been in this job for a few months, so I don't know that much. It doesn't matter. Like really, it doesn't matter. But you have to go through this process. Okay. So, how to reverse engineer the process? Now, this is one thing that you have to do. Okay, this is the first thing that you have to do. You need to go through the next 4 months because that's exactly what's gonna take 4 months. Okay, so let me put it right here. 4 months. There we go. Okay, but you have to do about between 15 to 20 hours per week. That's what you need to do. 15 to 20 hours per week for the next 4 months. Okay. Now, this is what many people do. Okay, I want to get to the next level, but I don't know exactly how to do that. So let me go to the IT community and let me ask, how can I go from my entry level job, my help desk position, to a higher paying job? And then you're gonna go this way, and someone is gonna say, well, you need to get your CCNA, you need to get your Cisco CCNP. Okay, good. And then you're gonna look the other way, and that's someone else saying, oh, no, you need to learn cloud because all companies are basically going there, cloud. You need to learn AWS. So yeah, go that route. And then you have someone else, yes, everything is going to the cloud, but it's better for you to get a shirt, right? And you'll be like, okay, yeah, I will do that. And then you have someone else saying, oh, no, 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 no. You need to learn automation. You need to learn Python, okay? Oh, by the way, you need to learn about, VPN firewalls, because that's exactly, what many companies are looking for right now. Oh, no, no, no. You need to learn virtualization. So what does that mean? That when you go to the IT community, what's going to happen without you even knowing? They're going to condition for you to be all over the place. You're going to learn this one thing, then this the other thing, and then you get to a point that not just weeks, months went by, months, and not much happened. Now you feel frustrated. Now you feel like you don't know what to do because you've been learning a lot for the last few weeks, the last few months, and doing everything that everyone else told you to do, right? And I know because I talk to people. Some of my students, they're going through this process with me. Again, they were all over the place. This is why I'm going to ask you. This is a time for you to question what people tell you in the IT community. You have to question what people tell you in the IT community, because a lot of that information is BS, completely and totally BS. What may work for you may not work for someone else, and what may work for someone else may not work for you. This is why you need to take the time to reverse engineer the process and write it down. You need to take the time to reverse engineer the process. Okay? Now, the other question: do you want to become a network engineer? Or do you want to become like a cloud engineer? Or do you want to become a cybersecurity engineer? You need to know what's the job that you want to go after. Okay? Because that's going to help a lot. That way you don't go through your IT career in autopilot. And that way you do not end up getting another entry-level job. And for you not to move up, just for you to move sideways. Okay? This is why it's huge. Reverse engineer the process. What does that mean? I need to know what's the job that I'm going to go after. Well, something related with IT, something to do with networking. No, you have to be very specific. If you want to become a cloud engineer, okay, let's go there. If you want to become network engineer, okay, let's go there. Now, probably for some people, hopefully not you, you'll be like, well, I don't know the big difference. Then take time, do research, and find out exactly the difference, and you becoming a network engineer, a cloud engineer, a cybersecurity engineer, probably a system engineer, or maybe a DevOps engineer. Take the time for you to do some research, for you to find out what's the one that you like, because any of those jobs will pay you really well, by the way. Any of those jobs will pay you really well. More than 120, more than 160, more than $180,000. And at one point, not now, at one point. Okay, but all of them will pay you really well. But if you don't know exactly what you want, take the time for you to figure that out. Why? Because again, we need to know what's that position so we can reverse engineer the process. Now, let's say, right, that you decided, Jorge, I want to become like a network engineer. I want to do probably cybersecurity, maybe cloud, but that's probably something that I want to do later. Yeah, you becoming a network engineer will help you for you to branch out to any of the other jobs. Okay. Now you are like right here. And again, right, you have an entry-level job in IT. That means you have a job right now. This is not for people that are new. No, people that already have an entry-level job, some type of help desk, some type of field services, some type of IT support, desktop support. That's you right here. Okay. Now you want a network engineer position. How long it's going to take? 4 months. So now let's see what you need to do. The first thing is, do you have your CCNA? Yes or no? Do you have your CCNA? That's the first thing that you need to do. I need to get my Cisco CCNA. Now, you have to get it the right way. What does that mean? You need to not only study the topics, learn the topics, you need to create labs and be able to create stories. Many people go and learn a lot of technical topics. They go and get many IT certifications, and they never take the time. They never take the time to do labs and create stories. And that's something that's a must, not like a maybe, that's a must. So number one, CCNA. I know there are many people out there, they already have that CCNA and they have an entry-level job because they don't know any better on how to get a good job in IT, right? But many others have other IT certifications, but not the CCNA. Now let's focus, because I'm gonna go two ways. One, again, CCNA. You need to get the CCNA and doing it the right way. This, if you take about 15 up to 20 hours a week, that will get you about 6 to 8 weeks for you to get it. Okay, 6 to 8 weeks for you to get it. Okay, now in this case, for network engineers, you need to do this. Okay, you can go either based on getting the CCNP, or listen, another IT certification based on what the market wants. You see, and I hope you're hearing me, based on what the market wants. Okay, so right here, you need to do some research. I can go online right now and I'm like, okay, network engineer in Chicago. And I'm going to look at the job description and I'm going to go through it. And I'm going to be, okay, I see what this company based on network engineer are looking for. Okay, good. Now let me look for another network engineer position here in Chicago. Okay, let me look for it. Okay, now let me go through that job description again on this one. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to compare the two jobs. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and look for another network engineer position in Chicago. And again, I'm going to go through the job description and what they're looking for. And I'm going to go through it. I'm going to study it. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to compare that to job number 1, job number 3. So now I have 3 of them in front of me. Now I'm going to do that and go for number 4. And I'm going to do that probably up to 7, 10 jobs. Yes. So let me make it really easy for you, right? If you have a printer, you print them out. And I know many people thinking, you know, Jorge, I was thinking that you're going to say something about IT certifications, you know, and only focus on that. No, because then you're going to end up like most people without a high-paying job in IT, right? One of my students, like Michael, went from $24 per hour to $80,000. $24 per hour, desktop support to network engineer, $80,000. That means that can happen to you. Same process. I'm walking you through. Now let me go to some of the questions here. Let's work hard and let's go to the next level. Okay, let's see. Can you show us how to respond in non-technical manner? That's Francisco. They're so true. Just contact us and split us to different places. Facts, work is saving lives. We will table. Let's go. We create memories. Okay, let's continue. So here, right, you get the CCNP now. As you know, the CCNP has 2 exams. You know, it has basically the encore and the concentration, right? So again, you have to get the encore. That's exam number 1. Now the second one, the encore, the concentration, that's based on what the market needs and wants. What the market, remember, again, make it really easy for you. What you do, you print them out. There are probably 7, maybe up to 10 jobs. And that's if you want to become a network engineer, from going from a help desk to a network engineer. You print out 7 jobs and make sure you find jobs by where you live, by where you your location, okay? And make sure you print them out, the ones that have a lot of information, because as you know, there are many jobs out there too that they don't have that much information. Like on the description, basically, on what they're looking for. No, find those that are detailed on what they're looking for, because you will find many of them. And again, you only need 7, 10, and you put it in front of you. Put them in front of you, and not only go through them, like really study them. Yes, study them line by line, and then go to the next one and the next one, and go back and compare to one another. And eventually, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. I done it myself. Many students, and they get it. You're going to find a pattern. And you can probably be, if I ask you, name all the things they're looking for, all of them. All the technical skills they are looking for, like, do that. Like, list them. and you may come out with 50, let's say 50 things combine the 17 jobs. Now the question is, what are the top 10, the top 7, the top 5? And because you end up doing that, going through the process, you will see a pattern that you'll be like, okay, now I see based on be me in Chicago, let's say for me, I see they're looking for someone that knows how to do this, knows how to do this, and this. Yeah, many other things, but these are the top 3. These are the top 3. And based on my own research, I know if I end up learning these 3 top things, I know that I can get a job as a network engineer. So you see, I didn't go and ask the IT community. I didn't. Why? Because I go based on what the market needs and what the market wants. I do not go based on what I think is best. I do not go based on what this other guy told me on YouTube. No, that's bad advice. You go to the next move in your IT career based on what the market needs, based on what the market wants, based on what the market desires from a candidate, in this case, for a network engineer position. And that can be different compared if you go probably, or me, if I go probably to Florida, or if I go to California, or if I go to probably Texas. That's the reason why it has to go based on United States or based on where you live, the country you live. No, it has to be based on your location. For me, let's say Chicago. Okay, let me give you a scenario. Some of my students, they got the CCNA. Some of them are going through cloud. One of them right now is going through Azure. 2 of them AWS. They end up going through the same process. They got their CCNA. So how is that I don't tell them to do exactly the same thing? Why? Because it's not about what I want them to do. No, it's based on what the market needs and wants based on where they live. You have to take the time to do that. I have some other student, they end up getting the CCNA. Now he's working on the virtualization, VMware. Why? Because that's more, companies are asking for that a lot more based on where he's at. Not much of a cloud, even though, yes, they're asking, but based on that research, we found out there are more jobs related to virtualization and easier for him to get the job. So you see, you have to go based now on what people think and give you some advice on that, or what you think. No, it has to be based on the market, okay? Now, in this case, I'm like, okay, probably you find out that many of those job positions related to network engineer has to do with, let's say, VPN. Well, let's find out if that's one of the concentrate exams focus on that more than others, right? But once again, the CCNP is a one step, and that has to be based on the needs and wants of that position. The other one has to be something different. That can be probably Azure. That can probably be AWS. That can probably be Palo Alto. That can probably be another, maybe DevOps. Who knows, right? Maybe sometime with something related with Python, automation. Probably has to do, again, I go based on what the market needs and wants right now. Okay, now what's happening 6 months ago? So when you decide it's time for me to move up and go to a network engineer position, or for me to go up and cloud engineer position, you need to go based now on that ton of IT certifications that are out there. No, you go and look. And based on that, you reverse engineer the process. And that will take you about 4 up to 6 months. If you're doing about 20, 25 hours a week, you can really get it done in 4 months. You just have to, once again, take the time to do only the right things, not for you to be all over the place, like many people are right now. So I'm going to ask you for you not to listen to most people right now on YouTube, because they are giving you advice and they have no idea where you are right now, no idea on what you are going through, no idea on the life that you have going on for yourself right now, or your IT career, no idea. So what I'm trying to tell you is for you to think for yourself. I'm just giving you some information for you to question it and for you to be, okay, I never thought of that. Let me take the time for me to do the research and for me to find out for myself what's the best for me. That way I don't go based on what other people are telling me to do. And then you end up being like, again, all over the place, right? So now, and this is, again, I'm going to get two up to three certifications, okay? Now, you can probably learn Python, let's say, or probably something related with wireless. Maybe not get certified on that, but just having a really good understanding on that. Why? Because probably based on the research, that's something that you see many of those companies asking for, okay? So again, that takes about 4 up to 6 months. That's one. Now the second one, okay, that you need to focus on. And that's, so let's say on the network engineer position, going after, based on my location, okay, I'm going to end up getting, let's say, the CCNP, okay, and then, I don't know, probably let's go with AWS. I noticed right now I do some research and I noticed many of the network engineer positions are asking for that. Some of the topics related to AWS. Okay, I'm going to go and get one exam out of the way, right? So again, I'm going after based on what the market needs and wants at this moment. Now here, what I do here, okay? Now this is something that I hope you really do, okay? While you're going through this, you need to add another layer. And that layer is, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to erase it. How you going to communicate what you have learned, the experience that you have to other people. What does that mean? And I really hope you're listening right now because I'm going to give you, this is huge. So write it down. Communicate. What does that mean? What that means is the way that you're gonna connect with people. You're gonna end up going through the job interview process. You're gonna end up talking to probably maybe 1, maybe 3, maybe 5 people, right? So the way that you're gonna connect with them matters. And I will tell you why right now. The second thing, how you're gonna educate them based on what they ask you. And that means how you're gonna present what you know, what you have learned, the experience that you have to them. That way, they think of you that you know. But now what's going to take it to the next level, how you're going to story tell what you have learned, the experience that you have for them to think that you can get the job done. And on top of that, how you're going to be able to influence and persuade the process based on the questions they ask you and how you're going to answer them so it can go your way. So you end up thinking about the topics that you know they are looking for and not go based on the questions they have in front of them that they want to ask you. Again, if you don't take control when you go through the job interview process, about 80% of it, you're going to lose. And they may ask you something that it's not related, not even for the job, probably not related, and something that you know. This is why it's so huge. But how you do this and how to communicate, you need to learn. Okay, and I've been saying this a lot. This is one of the biggest topics that I teach my students because this is the one that makes a lot of difference about storytelling. If you do not know how to storytell the experience that you have, what you have learned, it will be very, but very, very difficult for you to get the job. Now, let me go through some questions here. Woo, okay. So let's see here. Jorge Seblas, care memories, could you elaborate on process of learning the content if you don't mind? Okay, I'm gonna elaborate on that. Where do you research on the market trends? Indeed. Let's see. Okay, I'm not gonna go question by question. I still two other things I'm gonna talk about here. Okay. But answering that question on the process of learning, yes, you need to take the time for you to do that, for you to find out how the mind learns information. What does that mean is, if I ask you, right now, if I come up to you and I ask you, are you studying anything new right now? Yes. Okay, tell me what you're studying. Oh, I'm studying the CCNA. I got this book, so right now I'm going through the book. I also got some videos on Udemy. Okay. Can you show me how you're going through the book? What do you mean? Yeah, can you show me how you're going through the book? Well, I just get the book and I just go through it. I try, obviously, to focus. Wrong. Do you ask any questions before you go through the book? Do you get into that state of mind, what I call an alpha mind state, and how to learn that information and how you're going to associate that information that you're learning with something that you already know, and how you're going to be able to connect it with something, again, that you already know, something that's going to make sense to you associated with this new information. Again, that way, and that's again something that you learn through the process of learning how to learn. Same thing with the videos. How you go through the videos? Like really, how you go through the videos? Do you just play, push, play, and like, I'm just gonna focus? Again, if you end up doing that, that's not gonna help you for you. One, to understand exactly what you're learning. You may have some of it, but not like totally understanding. Number two, it will be very difficult for you to remember, for you to recall that information, and for you to be able to apply it. So that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Like before you go and doing anything of this, any of IT certifications, take the time. Like really take the time to go through and learn the process of learning how to learn. You know, when someone goes through my process, I do not let them listen. I do not let them go through any of my technical videos until 3 weeks. It takes 3 weeks in order for them to get there. Why? Because they go through a process. One of them is the process of learning how to learn. Because once again, if you end up learning information the way that most people do, guess what? You're gonna sound like everyone else. You're not gonna be able to stand out once you go through the job interview process. You think that probably the bachelor's degree that you probably have, the IT certifications, experience will get you the job? Not true. They lie to you. Not true. And I've seen this happening a lot. They're gonna end up hiring the person that they're gonna like and the person that they know they can get the job done. And I know you're probably thinking, I can do that, Jorge. I can do those two things. You know, I'm gonna for them to like me and for them to think of me that I can get the job done. How? By answering the questions the same way that everyone else does, or because you think you have some charisma, has nothing to do with that. It really comes down to this: how you're gonna communicate. Not only what you're gonna say, but how you say it. And this is again, it's just that's a lot behind it, and that how to communicate. Because here we go again, right? You need to know how to connect. If you don't connect, they're not gonna like you. That means they don't trust you. Then you have to educate. That way you answer the question they ask you, but you go beyond that and you start saying things related to what they ask you. That way you now are educating them for them to think of you, that you can see the big picture and what's going on. And you're able to present that information. And then you go based on a storytelling on something that you went through before, something that you even probably created through a lab, maybe a real experience. Again, you have to storytell a story related to what they ask you. And then you have to end it and persuading that conversation to go your way and talk about the things that they are looking for, the things that they need. That way you start selling yourself based on that. That way they be like, wow, that's exactly the person that we need. You see? So let's go here. Being a people person can get you farther, as Jorge says. Yes, but it's not only being a people person. That's a lot more behind that. Okay. Now, this is the other thing that I want you guys to focus on. I know probably because it's just so many things that I want to talk about, but obviously I don't have the time. But now going back here, because this is obviously the topic, and you being able for you to go from a help desk to an engineer level position. Number one, know what's the job that you want. And don't go some of the admin level position, because you can really go from a help desk, an entry level job, to an engineer level position. You just need to know what to do. And number one, again, you need to know what's the job that you're gonna go after, and you have to be very detailed on exactly what that is. This is not for you to, well, I just want to do something with networking. No, it's a network engineer, system engineer, cloud engineer, cybersecurity engineer. Again, you need more than just, I just want the next job. And what you do then, you reverse engineer the process. And that's exactly the solution. That means, okay, based on what the market needs, and yes, you go Indeed, you go on Dice, you go based not on what blogs or what social media is saying. No, because that's general. It has to go based on you, where you are right now. If you live in Texas, right, go probably 30, maybe 50 miles by your zip code and look for that position, network engineer. Okay. Let me see again. Print out 7, 10 jobs. They have a very detailed description, and go through them a few times. Study the lines, and then compare one job to another, and go through all of them like that. And yes, that may take you a day. That may take you 2 days. But that's a way to do it. Why? Because now you know exactly what they're looking for. Let everyone else focus on being all over the place. You thinking that because you're gonna learn Python, because you're gonna learn PowerShell, because you're gonna learn Linux, because you're gonna learn about wireless, about VPN, about firewalls, Palo Alto, the ASA from C. Like, that's you being all over the place. You may not end up using some of them. This is why you have to be very specific and exactly what you want. That way you know what you need to focus on. That way you not end up again like being all over that place like many people are right now in their IT career. And you do that based on what the market needs and based on what the market wants. You have to take the time to do that research. That's the only way for you to find out. That's the only way. When the students go through my process that way, we only focus on those few things. We don't focus on anything else. And obviously, once again, communication, right? You need to know how to do that. And I can go on things that I have learned. But again, I don't want to overwhelm you. They all have now to get these books. Now I have to get that program. Now I have to go through this too. Like, no, just think about how can I communicate better? And what that means for me is how can I connect with people? How can I educate, present that information that I know in a way for them to be like, wow. And on top of that, for you to be able to start with a storytell and be able to influence and persuade. That's exactly the formula. That's exactly the solution when you go through the job interview process. And you, again, that's what you are combining when you're studying this topic, when you went get these IT certifications. Okay? And again, it can take you 4, 5, up to 6 months. And this is how you can probably, based on where you are, double your income. You can really double your income. Many of my students have done it. Some of them, they end up getting probably 25, 30K more. They were earning 50, they went on to 85K. So they didn't double their income, but they end up getting 30, 35, 40K more. So that means that can happen to you if you follow this process, if you really listen. And what I'm telling you right now, it's not difficult, but you need to, once again, stop doing what most people are doing right now in IT. Because a lot of them don't have an idea. The way that I'm trying to talk to you is the way that I would like, me talking to my earliest version of myself, when I was in my 20s. What would I tell my youngest version? That's what I was trying to say. What would I tell my younger version? If I have an hour for me to go back, and talk to myself when I was in my early 20s, what would I tell me when I was in my early 20s? At that point, I was going through my Campatía certifications. I will probably grab myself, and be like, don't fucking do that. Like, just don't do that. There are varied ways. Come on, focus on this. This is what you need to do. We're going to go and reverse engineer the process. Let's focus on who is the person you need to become. That way, let's take care of everything going on in your life. Not only for you to get a good job in IT, but for you to be able to become that person that you need to become, not just for yourself, but the people around you. Your family, your kids, if you have any. You have to look at it, the big picture. I tell my students, it's all about the income, the lifestyle, and the results you want. This is not just about your IT career. You need to look at it as an income, a lifestyle, and obviously the results that you want. Not only in your IT career, but in your personal life. And that's exactly what you need to focus on. I see many people going through their IT career thinking, I'm just going to focus on getting the next job, and I'm just going to focus on get IT certifications. That's the solution for me. I'm just going to get more IT certifications. If you do that, not much is going to happen. And yes, probably you end up getting a job, but you're probably not as happy as you could be. Why? Because not much change for you, like within you. In order for things to change, you have to change. You need to become the next version of yourself. Now, many people don't know how to do that or who is the next version. Why? Because you have no idea what's the destination that you want to get to. If I come up to you and I ask you, where you see yourself by the end of this year, tell me how life looks like. You may not be able to answer that question. And if you do, you may not have details on exactly what that is. And that's the reason why, again, you just kind of go through life, your IT career, just in autopilot. And that's not good. Like, really, that's not good. You go through me or you want to do this on your own, that's really up to you. But you need to take the time to find out more about who you are, number one. That way you find more about how you end up being where you are right now. Because all things you have right now, the good ones, the bad ones, it's all you. That's all you. No one has any fault but you. That's no excuse. That's you. You need to take responsibility. Now that I know more about myself, now I see what got me here. My thinking, my beliefs. That's exactly what got me here. The way that I see the world through my eyes. What can be possible and not possible. Not possible based on what society told me, all this BS. Okay, now that I know more about myself, now that I know more what got me here, what's going to take for things to change? Who is the person I need to become in order for me to create that better life that I want for me, for my family? Again, who is the person I need to become? Okay, now that I found more about who is the person I need to become, okay, what are the resources out there? What are the resources out there that will help me to become that person, have the value to offer to the market, and be able to get that job that I want? And then once I get the job, I do the same. What's the next version of me that's going to take me now to the next level and to the next level? And you do this all the time. You reverse engineer the process. I will tell you this again and again. I end up paying, for those of you that don't know, $10,000. $10,000 to get some coaching. $10,000. And it was for 4 days. And it was a really badass, We went through hell. It was a lot of things combined. And I remember that one coach when I was going through that process. It was right there in my face. Tell me, how you want to provide a better life for your family if you have no idea how that looks like? You have no idea who you need to become. No idea. What got you here will not take you there. People go through stages in life, and you cannot get to the next stage, the next level, by being who you are right now. So who is the person you need to become? Right? So again, I did completely and totally change my life financially. There's so many opportunities. Before me doing Network Engineer Academy, and by the way, I still have a full-time job, but before doing Network Engineer Academy, I was doing some consulting. Back 2015. I'm going back like about 6 years now. That was the year that I was able to earn $160,000. $160,000. And that was back in 2015. I was doing some consulting. I had my full-time job. There's so many ways that you can go. I decided to do teaching because I love helping people. I help many of my friends. I'm being able not only just to get in IT, but for them to get a high-paying job. I love doing that. I've been through so much. I know how to help people to get there. But yeah. Danny, Jorge tiene salsa, but don't want to say, I love that comment, Danny. If I really tell you everything that I know, it will take me a day or two just to be here. So Jose says, Jorge, have the A+ desktop support role. For how long should I stay on this support role? Should I go straight on my CCNA? Jose, tell me how long you've been working on that job. How long you've been working on that job? You see, Francisco is giving, Danny is giving some advice. There are more jobs in cloud. You see, you don't do that. You don't do that. There are jobs out there. They can be cloud. Yes, there's so many jobs cloud. There's so many jobs cybersecurity. There's so many jobs network engineer. You need to go based on what you want to do. This is why you don't listen. Don't listen. You see? By the way, Danny, Classics, I have nothing against you, bro. Like nothing, and thanks for being here. But, sometimes advice that you get other people, again, right? Like, don't get it. Why? Because imagine me, right? Let's say I have a network admin job, and I'm like, okay, What's the next thing for me? Well, let me go to the market. Let me go there and find out what's hot. How many jobs out there. And then I get done and saying, hey, Jorge, you need to go to the cloud, man. Like, that's the future. The cloud, oh my God, that's the future. All companies are going to go from, being on premise to like over there, man, to the cloud. So get in there, man. So many jobs out there. But what about if I don't like learning about cloud? What about if I don't like learning about cloud? You see, it can be any job. It can be any job. If you go through your IT career in a very unique way, when you do things that I'm telling you to, and how you're going to be able to market, how you're going to be able to position yourself, how you're going to be able to create your own inner circle. You see, probably that's new to you. If I ask you, can you tell me or show me the people that you are connected to? And by the way, I'm not asking you for you to show me your loser friends. I'm not asking you for that. Like, can you show me that people that you have reached out to, that it's in your network, they have the life and the income that you want? Who are these people? How often do you reach out to them? I know that probably most of you don't have them. And that's the reason why you may get stuck. You see, that's a lot of things that are happening in between. This is not about IT certifications. What many people right now going after cybersecurity. A lot of people are going after cybersecurity. I remember one of the students that I have now, he ended up joining the coaching program. And he's like, Jorge, I was studying for the security plus. And I'm like, why? Because I want to become a cybersecurity engineer, man. Like, so many jobs out there. I'm like, true, so many opportunities, yes. But do you know what that is? Like, do you know what a cybersecurity engineer really does? No, I think I have an idea. And I'm like, okay, so you want to go after something that you have no much of idea on what that is? Who told you to do that? Well, everyone is talking about cybersecurity, man. Also, because everyone is talking about cybersecurity, you didn't ask yourself, if that's something that I want to do, you just go with the flow. You just go with, like, if you see 100 people run that way, you're just going to go without asking why? Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's how you go through your life? Like, really? You don't think for yourself? You don't do your own research for yourself? And by the way, that's the way I talk to my students, because I want the best for them. I'm really straightforward. And again, I tell them, question what I tell you to. I just want to point you out to the right direction. But you need to ask those questions, the ones that are going to serve you the most. If not, again, not much is going to happen, right? So I'm telling you, you need to think about how you want to go through your IT career. This is what you need. And by the way, you can get everything for free on YouTube. Everything for free on YouTube. Everything that I know, you can probably get it on YouTube. Everything that I know, you can get it on YouTube. Obviously, it will be all over the place. Some guy's going to teach you this one thing. This guy's going to teach you some other thing. And it's like a ton of people out there. And you can do that. You can really figure this out on your own. But that's going to take you a lot of time and for you to go through so much. I tell my students, once you join this, you don't go back on YouTube. Don't do that. Because again, right, you only focus on things that will allow you to get to the next level, allow you for you to get to the next job, allow you for you to get to the next version of yourself. Let's only focus on that. And we know exactly what that is, because guess what? We took the time to reverse engineer the process to find out and exactly what that is. Now, do you have that for yourself? Yes or no? Or you're going to keep going through your IT career based on what this guy on YouTube is telling you to do, or based on what other person in the IT community is saying that that's the best thing for you to do? No, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay? Goodbye. Most of our Cisco, thousands in the trash, cloud, and VMware is becoming strong. YouTube, an amazing book. Now my boss and are throwing out switches. Are we moving to hybrid Azure? Actually found Jorge when I started 5 years ago. Look, some of these attacks, Monday Rise, and team, CC Azure, take it for it's worked everyone. So yes, guys, like again, I want you to get results that many of my students have gotten. That's exactly what I want from you. I don't know if this is something I shared the other week, but in 2000, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, 2017, early 2018. That was a student that joined, and right now he's, and by the way, new in IT, okay, new in IT, and right now he's a information security manager, information security manager. It took 3 years for him to get that high paying job. 3 years, no bachelor's degree, by the way. So he's not like a manager in IT. No, he's a security manager. And it took 3 years for him to move up at that point. So you see, that's my point too. I get it. You know, many people end up getting 70K job, 80K job. Not bad, but it's not a high paying job. But they are able to get it in 3-5 years. So why? Why not get it in the next year? In the next 2, you're earning more than 120K. That's exactly my point. Now, going back on the question before I forget, okay? And if you have any more questions, please let me know, because I'm going to be here another 10 minutes. Any other questions, please let me know, because I really want to help you out. At least I want to point you out to the right direction. Or at least I want to be that guy that make you think what you know so far about your IT career. Because let me tell you, it can be a lot better. It can be a lot better. You know, I wish I can go through a few other stories. Oh, by the way, guys, I'm going to upload a video, okay? I'm going to upload a video about, that was this guy, Brian. I don't think, if you're here, Brian, please let me know, man. I don't know if you're watching this live, but if you are here, please let me know. So Brian reached out to me, and he basically told me, you know, Jorge, back in July, it's a story, okay? I have the messages. And he's like, back in July last year, I ended up losing my job. Nothing to do with IT, by the way. It was nothing to do with IT. But I ended up losing my job because of the pandemic. And at that point, I'm like, for me, that was like the wake up call that you said on some of your videos. That many people got it last year with everything that happened. So that was me. Like, that was a wake up call for me. And I decided, you know, like, things have to change. So I went online and I did some research, and, you know, I decided that I want to do IT. And I was looking into getting a bachelor's degree. You know, I really was looking into that. And by the way, Brian, okay, late 20s. Okay, not early 20s, not late 20s. And let me tell you more about this guy. I'm not going to share like personal, because he shared a lot. That's the reason why I got back to him, because I felt bad on what he was going through. And that was not his fault. This is why you need to be careful who you listen to. So he one choice was for him to do a bachelor's degree, but because obviously didn't have the resources, you know, money, the time to go through all of the process. So he ended up getting, guess what? Anyone can guess, you know, end up listening to the IT community and end up getting that. Anyone want to guess? That CompTIA A+. And then he went on and got his CompTIA Network Plus. At this point, that's November last year. And he was excited, and he was like, Jorge, I was about to go to the market. Like, I was about to apply for jobs. But I'm like, you know what? Let me wait, you know, and I can probably do that the beginning of next year. Now let me get my CompTIA Security Plus. The problem was that I didn't have any more money. So I have to reach out to my parents, you know, to get some resources to study the CompTIA Security Plus, and obviously too for me to pay the test. And I got it. So I ended up getting my 3 CompTIA certifications, Jorge. And I was very excited. I was very looking forward for 2021. First week, 2021, I applied to a lot of jobs, a lot of them. And I've been applying for the last 3 months. And he reached out to me last week. And he told me, Jorge, I've been getting calls. I end up going through some job interviews, but I don't get that call. You know that call that you got the job? I didn't get it. I mean, I haven't got that call. And when he told me that story, I felt it. Like that was me when I was going through my IT career. Like that was me. I feel bad. And I usually don't reach out to people because I only have time for my own shit, right? And for my students. But I just felt that that was me when I was going through my IT career. And what killed it was when he told me that now he's applying to jobs that are not even related to IT. Not even related to IT. He just wants something because he will be a father in 2 months. So he's desperate just to get something. And I got back to him. I'm like, bro, I was you. And I will advise you to do a few things. But the first thing I'm going to advise you to do, please, just don't go on YouTube and listen to all these people that have no fucking idea where you are right now and what you're going through. Because they're going to point you out to the wrong direction. Like they did. This is why you're stuck right now. Because you end up doing what everyone else is doing. I'm like, Jorge, so this is not just me. I'm like, no. You think people are going to put on their social media that they cannot get a job after they went through 2-3 IT certifications? You know, people, what they put online, they're not that transparent, right? They're going to only put the good things, right? They're going to fake it. They're not going to be proud to say, hey, you know, I've been doing what everyone told me to do in the IT community. Hey, by the way, I haven't not even got a job. They're not going to post it. There are hundreds like you going through that. Hundreds, maybe thousands. The thing is, what are you going to do from this point on? And I end up doing a video about that conversation that I had with him and the books. What's up, Jorge? I left a comment early, got 65K job, making 10 an hour last year. That's, man, that love it. Love it. Okay, love it. So yeah, so this is why I'm telling you guys, you have to be very careful on who you listen to. Not only in your IT career, but in your personal life. You know, I pay good money, you know, to a coach. I pay good money to training courses, type of masterminds. But I need to make sure that if I'm going to pay big bucks, that's because, and I really need you for you guys to listen to this, okay? I end up paying $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, and a few others too. But the one thing that I need to make sure is that I'm gonna that dumbest person going there. Because if I see that the other people going there, or more likely the people that end up going there and the same level than me, not even $500 you will take out of my pocket. Fuck no. I need to see that if other people going to this team that I want to do or get this coach are a lot better than me. I have to be the dumbest person on that group. And I pay for that, a lot of money for that. Why? Because I want to get to their level. I want to have their income. I want to have their personal life. I want to have like their health, like their physique. This is why I take care of myself too, because so many things I have to go, you know, every day, every week, you know. And again, I'm trying to be more transparent. That way you can see what I go through on the daily basis. So if you haven't followed me on social media, I'm going to ask you for you to start following me. That way you see, like, I'm studying, talking to student, I go to the gym, I do this, I do that. Like, I do those things. Why? Because, again, what's the next version for you? I'm trying to touch 100 with that 6-figure blueprint. You know, Jorge, last position at administrator without CCNA, did get training. Should I take my CCNA, take necessary move up? It's a good question. This is for Juan. This is a good question. If you have some type of networking job, maybe you are a network admin, maybe you are a NOC support engineer, something related to that, but you do not have the CCNA, don't take it. Because your experience in the position that you have, back it up with the CCNA. You can go on and take the CCNP. That was a good question. Yes. Now, please, okay, do not go after the CCNP without taking the CCNA if you are new in IT or if you have an entry-level job. I only advise people like, look, the only way you're going after the CCNP without having the CCNA, that's because you have experience in IT related to networking. That means you've been going through some type of a network analyst position, network admin position, something related at those lines. Then go after the CCNP. But if you don't have the experience to back it up, do not go after the CCNP without having the CCNA. There we go. Okay. Now, guys, I'm gonna show you. I did a video. I talk about those books, and I'm gonna go so I can end this call because I have a call right now with a student. This is one book that I'm gonna ask you to get. This is something that I share with you guys. I have one question, sir. How are you, Tom? No, what I was trying to say was this. Let me get here. What I was trying to say is this: like when you're the smarter person in the room, you lose because you have nothing to learn from other people. You do not want to be the smart person in the room. And if you're gonna pay money to someone, that person has to have the life, the income that you want. If you see that I don't have going on what you want out of life, don't buy anything from me. Look for someone that has the life, the income that you want. That's exactly my point. That's exactly my point. Okay? There always be more people that have more knowledge, they have more experience, they have a lot better results than you. And those are the ones that you need to look up to and get advice from them. Once you get advice from them, now you have to basically question it and see how does that apply to you. Because when that happens, that's when things start changing for you if you start doing that. What's your name? Did Powell. What's your name, bro? Do you have I want to do a Zoom with you, man. Let's do a Zoom video. Let's do a Zoom video. Let's do a Zoom video. You will have. Okay. So yeah. So questions. So because I have to end this call. Let's see here. I want to say things, but I don't want to because I know there's more people watching. There we go. Okay. So this is the book, guys. You need to get this book. This is the book that you need to get. I hope you've seen it. This is the book. You know, don't read it. Please don't read it. Don't read it. Study it. So you have the book, or you're going through some videos, technical videos, you go through that and then go through this book and connect it. Find a way to connect it. That's one. Another one that you need to get is this one. I went through this book twice already. A really great book. Really great book. Again, when you only focus, okay, on technical topics, not much is going to happen. This is why, this is exactly what you need to focus on getting high-paid skills combined with the technical topics. Do that, okay? Now, I really have to go. It's 9 p.m. I have a call, guys. By the way, if you haven't got the blueprint, this is the thing, guys. If you haven't got the blueprint, you should get it. There are over 50 videos, and that explains to you exactly how to architect your way to the top and exactly the things that you need to focus on, like the high-paid skills that you have to learn. I mean, having that in front of you, you will know exactly what you need to do the next 6 months, the next year, the next 2 years in your IT career, for you to know how to think and how to go through your IT career, for you to really plan out on exactly how to go from one job to the next, and for you to be able to really go to the next level, not just to move sideways in your IT career, and all the high paid skills. And again, if you end up getting the blueprint, I'm telling you, I'm going to give you 30, 45 minutes of my time. You get it, reach out to me, Jorge. I got it. I went through those videos. Let's do a video, you and me, one-on-one. I will give you 30, 45 minutes of my time. That way, again, you can ask me any questions and then I can help you to point you out to the right direction. So again, if you haven't got it, you know, it's just $100. Let me see here. Let me see if I have it. Again, that's the link right there, guys. Yes, I'm in LinkedIn. I'm not that active. I will be in the next month or so, but yeah. What else? I still go through many more. So again, guys, if you haven't got the blueprint, please just take a look. Take a look. That way you and me can have a 30, 45-minute conversation, you and me. Okay, so I have to go, guys. I really hope this helps, you know, because that's a process I go through. That's a process my students go through because it really works. Find out more about who you need to become. Find out more about not just that, who you need to become, but the resources you need, because there are hundreds out there. But which ones are the ones that you need in order for you to get to the next level, right? So that's the question. Again, guys, thanks for joining. We'll talk to you soon.